live in our chat. Just getting the YouTube going. Good morning. Okay, so today, this week, we are diving into what it means to really be without your story and how our story kind of dictates how we show up in our life. So I titled this I Am, but I'll just change that. But I could have easily just titled it, who am I without my story? Because it's the same thing. It's what I'm kind of diving into in this meditation. I hope each of you are having such a beautiful day, and if you're feeling like you need a little bit of inspiration, a boost of personal power, I hope that this meditation serves you in that way. It's really designed to help you to see your essence beyond that story. So, this is a fascinating concept to me because it doesn't seem to matter how much learning I've done, how much practice I've done. I have this thing within me that just wants to identify with a story. It wants to have some sort of understanding of who I am in relation to everybody else. It makes me feel safe. It makes me feel comfortable. And it gives me some frame of reference to talk about things. But the issue with holding on to a story, no matter how beautiful the story is that in that moment that we claim the story, we stop changing, we stop growing, we stop evolving. So the story is implanted in a moment in time. And then when we identify with that story in that moment, it's almost like time freezes and we're kind of stuck in that moment. So imagine what that could do for you if you are trying to still grow and learn and evolve and change. You become stuck. You become really firmly rooted in the moment that the story began. And one of the places that I notice this most clearly is in relationships. So when you start a new relationship, it's so fresh and new and exciting to discover this person, to learn all about them, and to really start to get to know them in a deeper way. And so we were looking at them through the eyes of a child with curiosity and presence. But then we start to form opinions. We start to bring in little bits of a story that we start to craft and create about this person. And that kind of becomes really solidified. And we use that so that we can more easily identify with them and really just kind of place them in this kind of container so that we know how to be with them. But the issue with that, again, is that's a moment in time. So we've taken that snapshot of them at that moment of time when we first meet or we first start to develop that relationship, first impressions. Good morning, Travis. And then from that point, we hold them to that story. We hold the new friend, the new lover, or any relationship that we're in to that story that we've created about them. And it's so subtle. This is something that just automatically happens. We've been socialized to create these stories. And then as we each grow individually, we get really frustrated when they don't fit our story anymore, or when they want to change or grow and move beyond. It's really hard to release that story. And so in this meditation that we're going to be doing together today, it's really looking at what exists beyond the story. And what exists beyond the story is the simple feeling and sense and knowing of presence, of being in the I am, as Michael Bernard Beckwith puts it. And so when you are in that space of I am, nothing comes after it. But when we are still identified with story, when we're still kind of moving and ruminating through this concept of who I am with a label, who I am in a role, it keeps us in this box. It keeps us really firmly rooted, and we can't necessarily go beyond this idea of who we are, or who our partner is, or who a friend is. And so let us explore. This will be a pretty short meditation, but it will be a really powerful exploration and experience with what it means to drop your story. So you can move into the posture of meditation, whether that's seated for you or laying down. If you're seated, you want your hips firmly rooted, really grounded down into the seat or the ground below. Equal weight on both sides. And it's really helpful to have your pelvis tilted slightly forward just to support your lower back and the curvature of your spine. And then a nice long spine. And then lengthen through the back of the neck and tuck your chin slightly. So this gives you a really well supported posture so that you can relax into the practice. And then if you are laying down, if you're choosing to practice while laying down, again, find equal weight on both sides of the body. And see if you can lengthen the spine just the same as you would if you were seated. It can be really helpful to put a pillow underneath your knees to give that slight rotation of the pelvis. And I would suggest removing anything from underneath the head or putting something just under the neck to allow for that lengthening in the back of the neck. And then as you arrive in your posture of meditation, allow that to be your signal that you are moving into presence, that you're moving into this practice. Start to notice any sensations or feelings that are happening in your body right now. And remember that all are welcome here. So discomforts are welcome. Anything that is present for you now, that is part of your present moment experience, is welcome here. This is a really important part of setting up for practice, to welcome in all aspects of self, to welcome in all aspects of your experience. When we set the container in this way, we allow for whatever is meant to show up to arise. We turn away from or shut down any experience that we are having. We start to deny feelings, deny experiences, and it really stunts our ability to explore and experience the fullness of this present moment. This practice of being with what is a perfect opening for our exploration of I am. As we accept, as we welcome in our present moment experience, we allow for the experience of I am, the experience of self without the story. I invite you to draw your attention to your breath. Just watching your breath. Noticing if it is shallow or deep, if it's catching in any place. Just notice how the breath feels as it moves into the body, as it moves around and brings oxygen and nourishment to all of the cells within the body. And see if you can start to lengthen the inhale and then match the exhale to the same. Breathing in deeply through the nose and filling the belly and the chest. And exhaling out the mouth, letting everything go. Nice long exhale. And keep up with this breath through the practice. This lengthened inhale and exhale is so good for keeping us in this present moment. Paying attention on purpose cultivates awareness. So when we pay attention to the breath, we bring into our experience the awareness of our presence, of what is happening right here, right now. While continuing to breathe just like this, I invite you to fill in the blank. So in your mind, repeat the phrase, I am. Just notice what comes up after it. What identifications come up for you? Who are you? Who do you identify as? Your roles, your experiences, who you like to present yourself as. I am blank. So every inhale the phrase I am. Every exhale, allow that question to be answered. So it could be, I am a mother. I am kind. Just allow those questions to be answered. Allow I am to be followed by whatever it is that comes up, is answered by your mind. Just breathe with this practice. Just allow the mind the space to answer this question over and over again. Breathe in, I am. Breathe out, answer the question. Keep practicing this. Keep allowing the mind to share its story, the story of who you are, who you present yourself to be. Remember, this is welcome here. And welcome in all parts. Welcome in the light and the dark. Welcome in the shadow. Welcome in the seemingly positive and the seemingly negative. And start to notice how each of these answers feel in your body, in your emotional and physical body. So as you continue to answer, just notice how each of these answers land, what they stir within you. And so through this practice, we are exhausting the ego. We are allowing all of the self identification to be expressed. The mind simply wants to be heard. And so when we take the time to hear it, to listen to the story, to listen to what is trying to be shared with us, we can start to feel as though there is a release, there is a letting go, there is an acceptance. And so you might feel tired of answering this question. And that's good, that's the point. So keep at it. Keep answering the question and filling in I am. I am. And when you reach the point of exhaustion, when you no longer wish to speak your story, keep repeating the words I am as you breathe in and just relaxing into the exhale, allowing the breath to be the answer. Just notice what it feels like, who you are without this story. What does it feel like to be you without your story? Notice the spaciousness that this creates. Notice how open and soft everything feels. If you wish to continue to practice, to just stay in this practice, that's what I would love to do right now. You can just turn off the video and continue with the practice. But if you feel ready to close practice, I invite you to bring your hands to your heart. So one hand over top of the other, or prayer position in Anjali Mudra, thumbs connecting into the breastbone. And we connect in with the heart as we close practice in order to activate the quality of compassion and of gratitude. Gratefulness for this present moment experience of what is, without having to name it, without having to identify it, but just being with it. And then when you feel ready to help you transition into your day, invite you to feel into the edges of your body, to really feel your physical form in this space, touching the chair or the ground below, feeling the touch of air temperature on your skin, the touch of your clothing. And start to notice sounds in your immediate environment and perhaps even beyond the room, beyond the building. And then start to visualize the space that you're in. Visualize where you are in space right now. And then when you feel ready, you can open your eyes and let this light in. Oh, we lost it. We lost part of our meditation. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I'm not sure why it didn't work on Facebook. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But if you're watching on YouTube, awesome. Perhaps I'll post that in the Inspiration Network Facebook group. I'll just close by saying that, it's so common for us to hold on to this story, to really feel the need to be in our story. And the practice, again and again, is to let go of this story, is to release what no longer serves us. And then rather than replacing it with a new story, a new identification, the practice is really to hold the space open, to maintain presence, to allow that experience of I am to be enough, that space of possibility and potentiality to be all that is. And it's a really powerful space to be in. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. So much love, and I wish you a beautiful week.